Hello and welcome everyone to a new series where I'm gonna be playing Age of Wonders 3 with all of its expansions. And in this setup, we're gonna play two Emperor difficulty opponents. So they're gonna be in a separate team, and yeah, just gonna get right into it. I'm gonna show you the advanced settings so you can also see what I'm playing with. I think I left everything the same. The only thing I did was I changed it to just surface, so I removed the underground section, so this game can be played in on two levels, like a surface level and an underground section, and there's like several places where you can pop up and down. But yeah, I'm just gonna play surface. It's really annoying to deal with spawners that come from underground. But yeah, just a little bit about the game. So Age of Wonders 3 is a 4x turn-based strategy game. So yeah, it's about building armies, taking over lands, exploiting the resource of the specific land, and then winning can be done by defeating your opponents. I think there's some other win conditions, but I think I'm just gonna play Supremacy, where you just try to defeat the opponents. So yeah, map size medium, land type. I don't really like the continents or islands map that much, so I'm just gonna play land. Geography, I left everything the same. Didn't want to mess too much with this. So I'm gonna plop on teams here, so that they're in a separate team than I am. Simultaneous turns, I mean, usually I play with a friend of mine, and then simultaneous turns are nice. I think I can do classic turns here as well, just because it's a single player playthrough. Let's go to the advanced rules, and I think the only thing that I changed... Yeah, there's a few things I changed here, actually. So the game speed is fast. This means that any sort of knowledge you need to get upgrades is reduced a little bit, I think by a quarter, by 25%. It just lets you get research a little bit faster, and I think it's just a little bit more fun if you have more research to play with. Starting resource standard, normal, auto combat only, so all heroes have resurgence. So if you do an auto combat, then heroes do have resurgence, which means that if they die in combat but you win the combat, they are revived with 35% HP, if I remember correctly. Defender strength normal, cosmic happenings medium. I think I left all of this the same. Maybe I changed the amount of heroes that you can get, but I think I left everything the same pretty much. So yeah, let's just go with this, and let's get right into it. So the aim here is to show you a little bit about what Age of Wonders is, but also explain a little bit about the thought process. Basically, like my other, like every other game that I'm playing, I try to explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. So right here, you can see there's a lot of set heroes that you can choose from. And there is a few classes that you can play and races that you can play, and all of these can make interesting combinations. So you can be, let's look at this, like a sorcerer halfling, or a sorcerer tigran, or a draconian sorcerer. So there's loads of combinations that you can make with this, and they all give you slightly different things. So for instance, let's go on a halfling here. Halfling are physically weak, but possess a supernatural luck that allows them to often avoid damage completely as long as their luck is high. So that's like the gimmick of the halflings, is that they're lucky, and depending on the happiness of the halflings, this lucky chance increases, and when they get attacked, they have a certain percentage chance to just avoid that damage entirely. Really powerful, but the downside is they have weaker melee strength. Like they do have some increased range damage, but they have 20% physical weakness, which makes them quite weak actually in general. and then some other stuff here as well. I'm not gonna go too deep into all of the classes, but I just wanted to show you like some of the stats that some have. There's a really good Age of Wonders 3 wiki for it, if you want to check that out, and they have like an overview of the classes and the races and some of the race class combinations of units, because some of the units are also different when you choose a race class combination. So yeah, let's look at the one that I'm going to choose. So I have two preset right now. I have this Draconian Sorcerer and the Sorcerer, the Dwarven Sorcerer. And today I'm going to play the Draconian Sorcerer. I recently played against this with when I was playing with my friend, and the enemy absolutely wrecked us in the beginning with the Draconian Sorcerer, and why that is I'm going to go into in a little bit when I am actually going into the game. But yeah, the Sorcerer has access to powerful unit summoning spells, so you can summon quite a few units, and they actually are really, really good. And they also, like, the Sorcerer also have bonuses with summoned units. Grants upgrade to support units. This is really powerful, and this is one of the major things that I'm gonna use in this playthrough most likely. Focus on shock damage, and weaker armies produced from cities. Yes, that's very true. So usually what you have a you have the class, which can give you special type of units, and usually you produce them in cities. But Sorcerer, they usually summon them. I think they summon almost all of them, if I remember correctly. And then the Draconian, their gimmick is that Draconians recover from their wounds more quickly than other races, are resistant to fire while being more vulnerable to cold damage. Most Draconian spells spellcasters have the ability to hurl fire at their enemies. Yes, so I mean they're Draconian, so it would make sense that they're a fire-based race. So there's a terrain like and dislike here, and that means that Draconian units like to be on barren and lava terrain, but actually really dislike Arctic and really hate Blight, and that modifies their happiness in a way, and we'll also get into this when we get into the game. The bonuses, fire protection and frost weakness, that's what the description just mentioned. Cities generate a little bit more mana, really useful for the Sorcerer, obviously, because the Sorcerer needs a lot of mana to summon their spells, to summon their units here. And fast healing, and the fast healing is actually a really interesting mechanic where after not after battle, every single turn your units regain 6 HP passively. So like I mentioned, it's a turn-based game, so this actually matters quite a bit, because when you battle, you usually take a little bit advantage, and if you don't have a healer in your party, then it's really difficult to regain HP. But with fast healing, they passively regenerate. So with this, you can it's not only the class and race combinations that you can choose, but you can also choose the specializations, and you can see those here. Specializations are things that you can choose from. Let's see here. There's a few specializations that you can choose from, like air, creation, destruction, earth, and so on and so on. And they all have different play styles. Some are do I go into this? Yeah, sure, why not? So some are dedicated to good, and some are dedicated to evil. So in the game, you can choose to be evil or be a good person, let's say. So if you encounter some wild enemies and you have the option to slaughter them or to let them run, so the let them run option makes you gain good points, and the if you choose to kill them, then you obviously go more into the evil kind of thing. So destruction, for instance, is a evil specialization where it helps you to be evil in the game. Whereas I think creation is a good type of specialization, and I think you also have a neutral one, which is also really interesting actually. Was it this one? No, Grey Guard. So Grey Guard, here you can see it, the little balance kind of thing. So with this one, you want to be neutral, and that then gives you certain bonuses as well. Hello, Zambani. Welcome, man. How you doing, mate? Nice. I mean, I'm trying to not suck as much as the other game, so fingers crossed for that one. So these are the specializations that I chose. I have Adept of Air, harnesses the power of air, suffocating your enemies, summon mighty air elementals, help or hinder ranged attacks, and turn the lands into ice with freezing winds. I mainly chose this specialization because there are certain skills that you can unlock, and one of them is the Seeker Enchantment. Target friendly units ability, ignore range penalties and line of sight penalties, and do +1 damage. So it's mainly the ignore range penalties and line of sight penalties. So the longer away your target is from range, the less damage you do, and also if it's hindered by enemy units or by obstacles, then you also do less damage, and this enables you to deal a lot of damage. I don't know if this is necessarily the best one. I think Adept of Fire might also be a good one actually, because you have a lot of Draconian units. But yeah, this is the one I've chosen. And the Master of Air, this you can only choose Master of Air once you've chosen Adept of Air, so it's like a successive thing. And this I pretty much only took this because you can transform a standard mana node into an air node, which provides 5 additional knowledge, and knowledge is the way to generate to unlock new spells and everything, and to unlock new empire upgrades, which can really help you, especially in the early game to get going. Air nodes generate an additional +5. Earth nodes generate 5 mana less. So in general, you want to avoid earth nodes. I mean, they're still good if they're in your domain, but you know, it's only 5 mana instead of 10. And then Wild Magic Adapt. This one I mainly took because of the Degenerate skill. Now that I think about it, it might not be the best one. Yeah, maybe out of the Fire is actually better. Actually, let's just try to Adapt the Fire. Because I think, yeah, Skin of Oil. Target enemy suffers -2 strength, -2 armor, -2 resistances, and 60% fire weakness. And since we have Draconian units, fire weakness is actually really useful. So yeah, let's just try this. Save the leader. Like this is what the character creation screen looks like. So you have a lot of options here to customize the skin. You can also click randomize look, and then you change the entire look of the character. I usually pick randomized look until I find something that I kind of like, and then I just roll with that. Let's go. Create a new world, and let's see what Zambani has written. It's not a war crime, it's deny enemies potential. Yes, a war crime simulator. That's sort of what it is actually. So yeah, let's talk about the AI, and let's see if my camera is all right. Yes, my camera is fine. So yeah, let's talk about the top first. So right here we have our gold and our income behind it, our current mana and our mana income, the knowledge that we produce. So this, like I said, is to unlock new skills, and these are our casting points. We have 25 currently. Usually you start with 20, but since we are a sorcerer, we get 5 extra, as you can see there, +5 from the channeler. So these are our resources that we have to manage each turn, and running out of gold is quite easy in this game because producing things costs a lot of gold, mana as well actually. So you have to find a balance in actually keeping your gold and mana up while still producing units and while still managing to upgrade your cities and stuff. So right off the bat, you can see here, this is our little domain that we have for now. And there's two things already within our domain borders, which is why we can use this. So at this point, we get 10 income from our gold mine, and we have a little bit faster population growth because we have a great farm in our territory. So this is our starting army. Pooh, that's a really bad army. Okay, we're gonna roll with it anyway. These are kind of good, but the rest of the units are pretty bad. So this is our starting army. I'm gonna talk more about this when we actually get into combat and stuff like that. But if we click again on this hex, then we can see our city. And there's a few things to note here. That this city gives us 35 gold income at this right now. We can see their base income, gold mine, and then some from the happiness, and plus 50 from the merchandise. And the merchandise is just because we're not producing anything right now, but we will be in a bit. So let's actually just do that. So right here we can toggle through the different menus where we can have produce units, produce upgrades, some city options. You usually just never go in here, and existing upgrades. So this is what we currently have in our city. This is our throne city. That's a really crucial thing, but I think I'm gonna get into that later. This is one way. No, actually, just explain it. So there's the way to lose this this game is if your leader gets killed. So the leader is the one, like here you can see it. This is a hero, and it only has this little thing on top of it, this little banner. And here you can see the leader banner, which is like a little bit bigger, and it also has two of those arcs in there. So that's how the leaders differentiate themselves from heroes. And if your leader gets killed and your throne city gets taken over, then you lose the game. And that's also how we can win against the enemy. So the enemy will be somewhere over here, I guess. I don't know yet. Like, this is all, fog of war. But as you can see, like this map is massive, and there will be different structures that we can take over, different cities that we can encounter. So, and that is basically the way the game works. You try to explore as much as possible, and then you want to take over new cities to make new units and to build to get more income, and then it's just an exponential growth thing. But yeah, let's go back to what I'm actually gonna do. I really like building a builder hall first. Building hall or storehouse is usually what I go for, because the building hall gives me 20 additional what is that actually production, and the production is used to make buildings. So right here we can see that this storehouse costs 100 gold, 100 production, and 4 turns, and generates plus 100 extra population. So the 100 extra population is just like the great farm here. So it's just another great farm, let's say. But since it costs 100 production, so if we do not divide 100 by 29, we get 4. Like more than 4, and that's why this thing costs 4 turns to make. So if we build the builder hall first for 4 turns, then we would jump up to about 50. I say about 50 because you always get a happiness bonus. I'm gonna come into that later as well. So about 50, and that would mean that the storehouse no longer takes 4 turns but only 2 turns. Additional production is just wasted. It's not, you can't use it towards the next building or anything like that. So yeah, it's different. I mean, it's a really old game, so I think that's one of the reasons why it's like this. Uh, but yeah, it's I'm just gonna get into it now and actually just try to do a little bit of the things that I would usually just do. So there's the first thing. We have our army here. We have one more Draconian Raptor over here. You always start with your starting army, which is just random units. Like this can be a oh yeah, another thing. So the Draconian Raptor is a tier 2 unit, whereas the Charger, the Crusher, and the Hatchling are just tier 1 units. At the start of the game, you can start with any sort of combination of tier 3, tier 2 units, tier 1. Usually not tier 3, but sometimes you do start with a tier 3 unit. But you always start with a cavalry unit of your specific race, which is a Draconian Raptor in this case. Then you also always start with a hero join offer, which I usually take because they're generally quite good. We get a Urkan the Hacker, level 1 Warlord. I'm gonna look at his talents, but generally I don't want to take Warlords that much. I usually just look at the class, and I really want a healer in the beginning because that really allows me to get to go into more battles, to level up my units more, and then to be able to get into more difficult battles, which gives me better loot, and it's again this exponential growth curve. The end goal of the game, to answer Zambani's questions there, is for me just to kill the enemy. So this is just a how do you say that? A random scenario, or what is it called? A new random map. So I'm playing against 2 Emperor opponents, which is like the highest difficulty, and I don't think I have won a game yet, but the previous single player game went pretty well, so that's why I thought like I'll just make this a series as well. Why not? So yeah, we'll see if I manage to kill 2 emperors, but yeah, that's pretty much the goal. To find the enemy leader and then take over the throne city, and the throne city can be seen with this little throne symbol next to it. I'll show you what the difference is between that and another city when we actually find another city. So let's see. This hero join offer, I like a warlord, but yeah, I need a healer. So I need either a theocrat or a archdruid to really get me going. So I'll click on I require another type of hero. And then I'm going to go into selecting a research. And research is always a little bit different because you start with different starting skills. So in general, usually you want to look at the bottom part here of your UI and the top part here, and that's pretty much what I'm looking at generally. So here you can see the open actions that you still have, and here you can see the spells that you have available to you. So right now we have a Summon Wisp that we can do. We have a Transform Air node, so that was because of our air specialization, and a Dome of Protection. A really powerful defensive skill where target friendly city becomes immune to all city enchantments. So yeah, there's certain enchantments that the enemy can do to your city, and if you cast this on your city, then you're completely safe from that. But it costs a lot of mana, a lot of casting points, but also 20 mana per turn. And as you can see here, we only have 19 currently, so yeah, it's quite expensive. But yeah, I generally tend to look at my skills first to see, okay, what do I have? Because these are also always random, except for this one and this one. And since I already have a Summon Wisp, which is like a scout unit, I don't want to research units necessarily, so I don't want to research Produce Apprentice, even though this is a really, really good unit now. I want to get more. I want to get other things. I want to get maybe a little bit more casting points so that I can summon more wisps. Star Blades, which is like a combat spell, which helps me to engage in combat more easily. Yeah, and I think those two are the two I would go for. Either sorcery to get more casting points. So casting points is this resource over here, where if I do this, I get plus 10 of them, and also my mana capacity goes up. Let's see. I think I'm gonna go sorcery here, just to get casting points, like I mentioned, and then I'll summon a wisp to start exploring for me. And then let's look at this at our city over here. There's a few things that we can see in the fog of war, just barely. We can see a pile of gold here. We can see a pile of mana here, and a cartography tent. So this thing shows you the near. I don't know if it's the nearest, but a city. And cities are always useful because you can get more income if you start taking over more cities and stuff like that. The other thing we see here is this mana node, which will come into our territory eventually. So eventually our territory will grow by 1 hex, and since it's hexagonal, like, it's actually quite a big area that we get from that. And going back to our city, we can see that our city will grow in 5 turns if nothing is done about the current population growth. So if we would build a storehouse, this would be faster since we get additional population growth. Yeah, so if you die, you die. Like that, there's no coming back from that. So if your leader dies, then he will respawn in your throne city. So in this city right now. But if your throne city then gets taken over by anything, can also be NPCs, then you're screwed. Then it's just game over. So what I like to do in the beginning is just collecting free resources with units that I don't really need. So right here, I think the most useless unit is the Draconian Crusher, since it's really difficult to get him into battle. So I'm going to use him to scout for me. And I'm going to go to this cartography tent to reveal a city to me. And right here we can see that it is a Frostling city. Which also means that usually you start with a... so I'm starting with a Draconian city since I'm a Draconian Sorcerer. But you also start with 1 Draconian village near you. So this Draconian village must be somewhere in this vicinity here. And most likely down here. Because I know that there's only 1 city here. There may be a city up here, I don't know yet. But there's also mountains here, so it's not that easy to get to. So I would prefer to walk downwards and maybe find a city here. But we do want to find this as soon as possible. The faster you find your cities, the better, actually. There's also something else that I found here, is some Scrolls of Knowledge. Scrolls of Knowledge give you some amount of knowledge. I think it's somewhere between 70 and 90, something like that. And they're generally really good to go for early game. But I want to go up here first because I want to take over this mana node, because this will enable me to when it comes into my terrain in 5 turns, I can use it straight away. And if I go down first and then back up to get the mana node, it's really inefficient. So I want to be as efficient as possible with my units. So I'm going to move my units over there. Armies can only contain six units at a time. So if I move my my Draconian Raptor in there as well, I have 6 units, and then it's a full party. You can see here that they have different amounts of movement. So my Draconian Hatchling has the least amount of movement, and my leader and my Raptors have the most. And that's because the leader is actually on a horse already, like you can see here, it's mounted. And yeah, this is another big UI thing. Like this game is really intricate. Like it's really surprising to me, like talking about it, how intricate it actually is. So here you can see all of the different effects that my leader currently has. So he has some frost weakness and fire protection from his draconian race. He has fast healing. He is draconian, like I said. He is mounted. He has charge. He's a cavalry unit, and he is walking. Yeah, he can't fly. That's basically what this means. There are some mounts that let you fly, but yeah, that's something for later. But yeah, if you click on a unit, you will always get this UI where it just shows you the stats that each individual one has. So Draconian Raptor actually starts with a bit more fire protection, so 40%, but also again frost weakness because he's Draconian. This Raptor is exactly the same. The Charger has lesser flying, so it can sort of fly, but not really. Yeah, it's a bit weird. I would highly recommend just reading if you want to get into this game, just reading about something like this on the wiki, or just reading through all of the different abilities. The important thing about the Charger is the first strike and the polearm. Polearm can deal more damage to mounted units, so if this Charger would fight against a Raptor, which is a mounted unit, then it would deal more damage. So it's basically, if you fight a cavalry unit, then you deal more damage. Yeah, so this one also gains, because it has pike and square, it also gets more armor against these type of units, so it just takes less damage. Each unit can level up to 4 times, and after that it just gains health, and each time it levels it gets different things. So this one gains at trooper rank, it gains 1 melee strength and 2 hit points. Then at veteran rank, 1 melee strength, 1 defense and 2 hit points. Then, and so on and so on. And then at the 4th rank, it also gains fire protection and armor piercing, which is another one of these skills. And the same goes for the Raptor. This one also has different things. So on veteran rank, so they usually just gain stats, and at some point they get different skills as well. Like this one gains fire protection, inflicts scorching heat at veteran rank, and then at elite rank they gain another level of fire protection and inflict immolation. What that is exactly, I will show you when we actually get to that point. The hatchling has a interesting ability. So this is a unit that is generally pretty weak. Can only do fire spit, which is not a great ranged ability. Its melee damage is also not that high, but it has this skill here, the evolve. When this unit reaches gold medal rank, so I have to rank them all the way up to elite level, then it evolves, and it can evolve into a Draconian Crusher, Charger, Flamer, Elder, or Flyer. And the Flyer is actually a tier 3 unit. So currently we only have tier 2 and tier 1 units in our party, but it can actually transform into tier 3 units, which is like absolutely amazing. So yeah, this one has a lot of potential, but we also don't know what he evolves into, so it's a random thing. But yeah, different amounts of movement, and since they have different amounts of movement, we can actually use that to our advantage by just moving our leader onto this space. We can save the movement of the rest of the guys, and I'll show you how we do that in a little bit. So every time you attack another force, you get this screen in front of you where you can press auto combat, and the combat will be done automatically by an AI. Sometimes it's alright to do that, sometimes it's not. Right in the beginning of the game, I always recommend to do manual, just because you can run into the issue that you lose a lot of units if you don't do it manually. And yeah, that is generally not what you want, especially early game. Because if your early game is bad, then the exponential growth will just take place later, and you might be behind the curve in comparison to the AI. So yeah, this option is very interesting as well. So you can cast spells in auto combat or not. So you can choose this. I didn't know this for a long period of time, so yeah, just wanted to point that out. If you engaged in a combat and you thought like, maybe I don't want this after all, you can also abort attack, and then you just back at square one, and you have to press onto the unit again with which you want to attack, or just the whole stack, and just attack the enemies again, and you'll get the same prompt that you got before. Highlight attack, yeah, I never use this because you know what you're gonna attack in general. Let's do manual combat, and let's just get into a combat scenario. So right here you can see the mana node that we're fighting on. There's a few different terrain types that you can fight on, and usually they have some kind of gimmick, and the gimmick is shown in the top left corner. So right here, this one is that they have recharging mana currents. The mana currents themselves, supernatural beings, replenish those creatures' hit points, restoring 15 to a friendly summoned unit or unit of magical origin. So these units are units of magical origin. So they will receive healing. They receive 15 hit points of healing every single turn. I think it's just one of them though. I'm not entirely certain. And I think it's a random one. So if we damage this one might get healed and they get nothing. So yeah, we have to play around that a little bit. But in general, it's just advised kill one of them first and then the next one. But yeah, we'll see how we do it. The difficult things about these units is that they inflict shocking. Melee and ranged attacks can cause the target to be shocked. Units lose 8 movement and gain 40% shock weakness. And since it does a lot of shock damage, that's actually a big thing. So yeah, the more you attack this unit, the more inflict shocking you get, and the lower your shock resistance, and the more damage they do. So it's like a vicious circle at that point. The next thing that is difficult for us to deal with is the physical protection. A lot of our attacks are actually physical. So this one has physical and fire damage. This one actually has just fire damage, so they're really good. But this one only has physical damage. And 60% of that is just taken off straight away, just because of their physical protection. And I think that's mainly due to them being incorporeal. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we have to play around that smartly and use our abilities that are not physical. Shocking abilities are also not that great. They have 40% shock resistance. So our lovely hero that has shock bolts, is pretty useless. But we do have some enchantments, and one of them, luckily, is the fireball, which we can use to our advantage, and also the secret enchantment. So actually really good starting spells. I'm really happy about this. So there's combat spells, and then there is casting spells, and these are the ones that I showed you earlier with the summon wisp and the transform air node. And then here you have the combat spells. So these we can only use in combat, not in the strategic map. So we would be able to cast a fireball on them, for instance. And as you can see here, you can see the damage that it does, where the physical damage of it is reduced. So usually it would do 10 physical damage, but it's reduced by 60%. And then it always has a damage range. So the range here is, what is this? 13 to 19 if you add the mins and the max together. And it's somewhere between that. And you also have the same range when you have things that do multiple attacks, for instance. So yeah, that is something to keep in mind. We only have 10 mana, so I don't really want to cast any spells here because I want to save up a little bit of mana. But we can use the raptors and the hatchlings to our advantage because they have a lot of fire damage. So I'm just going to move a little bit forward here because they didn't seem to want to come forward. So I'll have to do it. And I definitely want to use the our hatchlings to our advantage. So right here, what I'm going to do is I can check their attack range. So they have 28 movement, and with that 28 movement, they can move 4 hexes. 4 hexes. So I'm going to move one of my Draconian Raptors into their attack range, so I can bait them into attacking me. One of the things that every single unit has is guard mode, and in guard mode, place the unit into a defensive stance, raising its armor and resistance. And if we take them out of guard mode, we can generally do a lot more damage. So yeah, we want to do that as much as possible and just play around that that ability basically, or that stance. And I'm just gonna move the rest into position to be able to strike when they come towards me. Okay, they still don't want to come. I'm gonna move one step forward again, just inching my way forward here. Yeah, I'm just gonna move this guy up one. I'm gonna leave this guy here. So if I would move him to here, then he would be able to get attacked. So I'm just gonna move him over here again, just so he isn't able to get attacked. And as you can see here, the pathfinding, since the Draconian Crusher has lesser flying, we can actually move through objects because he can just fly over them. And that's going to be really crucial when we start attacking these guys. I'm pretty sure they're going to come now. Yeah, they are. Perfect that this guy isn't willing to come over yet. We can definitely use that to our advantage. But the first thing I want to do is just... yes. So I'm going to move this guy into position, but in this game you have something called attacks of opportunity, and you can do that. So you can flank units basically. So if you hit them from the back, then you can deal extra damage. And I could move the Draconian Raptor over here and deal a lot of damage to the Phantasm Warrior, but I just don't know if it's the right thing to do, because then the other guy can hit me for a lot of damage as well. So I'm just deciding whether I want to do that or not, and if I do, what the repercussions would be. So I always have to think, okay, if I do this, then what is the other guy going to do? And it's basically like a chess game at that point. I think I should have enough HP to take some hits off him. So if I can see here, yeah. So even if he flanks me, then he should not be able to kill us, which means that I can attack this guy pretty safely. And then deal a lot of damage. So right here, you can see that our guy, yeah, there's so many things to explain here. So the Phantasm Warrior will be attacked twice for 5 to 8 and 8 to 12 damage. And that is because it's flanking and a charge. So the green things underneath and the red things underneath are things that let you deal more damage or deal less damage. So the physical protection protects him from the physical damage, obviously, but the flanking enables me to deal more damage. You can see underneath here that my thing is yellow, and that means that I'm going to be able to attack twice. Every single unit has different attack zones. If you attack a unit within this green attack zone, so if I would move over here, for instance, then I would still be able to attack 3 times. If I move into this yellow spot, then I would only be able to attack twice. If I move into the red area, then I would only be able to attack once. So you have to think about how far do I want to move my units, but still deal damage to the enemy. My Raptor here is still in the yellow spot, but I may want to move him so that he only attacks once. Because with the first attack, so this unit is currently attacking this guy, so he's facing here. And since I am trying to flank him after the first attack, he will turn around, face this Draconian Raptor, and then if I do my second attack, he will also attack me. And that's why it says the target will retaliate for 1 time, 3 to 5 and 6 to 10 damage. And I have a 40% chance to be shocked. So it's just a trade-off that you have to do, and I think I would like to be only be attacked. I would like to not be attacked and just attack him for this amount of damage. So I'm just gonna attack once, and with that, as you can see here, he's currently facing this way. But now that I'm attacking him, the units are now facing this raptor here, and because they're now facing this raptor, this hatchling can now deal a lot more damage because now the hatchling can flank. So I'm going to attack with the hatchling. Now he's going to face this guy again. And now in theory I could attack with my Draconian Charger to flank him again to kill him off with the rest of the hit points. But I'm not sure if I want to do that. I think I don't actually. And the reason is so this guy is in the yellow, so he can still attack twice. If I attack him, then my attack will always land first onto the enemy, unless the enemy has first strike. So these guys here, they are pikemen, so they have polearm, but they also have first strike. So this unit attacks first when defending, unless it's an attack, unless the attacking unit also has first strike. Yeah, so that doesn't really apply here. So my attack will land first, which means the Phantasm Warrior has 7 HP. My min damage is 8. My max damage is 13. So I can always kill him after the first attack, which means that I don't take damage. And there you can see it. Like, because I struck first, I don't take damage. And now the only goal that I have is to protect my raptor from damage. So I could get this guy onto there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move this guy over here, put him in defense mode, so his defensive stats go up. And so he's a little bit more tanky to take some of these hits. But I'm pretty sure that the Phantasm Warrior will just attack my raptor from this angle over here. And my raptor will just take a little bit of damage there. I'm going to move my leader into position to deal damage when that happens. And here you can see that I could attack the enemy, but I have a line of sight penalty and they have shock protection, so I'm not dealing a lot of damage. So I just want to leave him in defense mode until the next turn, so he is a little bit more safe as well. And in the meantime, I'm going to move my charger into position to deal damage when necessary and when possible. Good, I'm going into defense mode. He will attack this guy. Yep, like I predicted. And here again, we're just gonna make sure that we turn this guy around once. Let's see. I'm gonna move here first, and now I'm gonna move into the red area, attack him, let him turn around, and now I can do my thing with the rest of my guys. So I'm actually going to move this guy over here, attack him from this angle to flank him, and I barely cannot attack him enough to die, but my shock bolts can actually fire 3 times. So the first one is going to be flanking, so 6 to 9, but the other ones are going to do less damage, but it should still be able to be enough to kill him. So let's just attack 3 times and kill him. Easy peasy. Let's go. Phantasm Warrior is defeated. We won, and we get a little bit of mana back because we attacked a mana node. And now you can see that my army is still in the same spot because we just attacked with our leader. And now I can move my leader back, and just my leader lost a little bit of movement. But now it has the same movement as the hatchling, so we can still move the full amount as the hatchling would otherwise be able to. And that's just because we separated our leader temporarily from the party. I'm just going to pick up this mana stash on the way with one of my raptors, because he still has a lot of movement left. And then I'm going to move onto this great farm because that's the farthest that I can walk, and then next turn I'm gonna take over this magma forge. My units have a lot of fire resistance, so the Hellhound that does fire damage, the Flamer that does a lot of fire damage, and the Hatchling that does pretty much only fire damage, we're pretty good against. So my Charger still has a little bit of movement, so let's get him to pick up this gold stash, and then we're gonna move down to maybe find another city there. I think there should be another camp where we can see a new city, let's say. So I think I'm gonna get that in with a Wisp in the next turn. So here, once you have nothing else to do, once you have moved all of your armies and you have something building in every city, you can click to end your turn, and then it's the enemy's turn, the next enemy, and then the independence move. So independent armies is something that we're gonna get to later, where you have spawners on the map that spawn independent units, and they are generally just a really big pain in the ass. They're generally just there to annoy you, and yeah, they just spawn units that roam around the map and try to kill your scouts, or try to kill your units, and it's not nice thereocracy. I don't want a Dreadnought either. Yeah, just I want a healer. I want either a Theocrat or an Archdruid. Either is fine, but just not a Dreadnought. They do have some healing in their kit, but yeah, not a lot. Let's press require another type of hero. My Wisp is ready to cast, and this one has to be cast either near an army of yours, or near a hero or a leader, or next to a city, so within 2 hexes, as you can see here. So this hex would not be available to us to cast it, so I physically just can't cast it here, but I can cast it there, and that gets me a nice little scout unit. Let's get this cartographer tent. Okay, is that a Draconian city? That looks like a Draconian city. Okay, that's great. So as you can see here, the layout of the city is exactly the same as this one, so we know it's a Draconian city. So this will be where I'm going to move these guys next, since they're already on their way to this, so we can get this city as soon as possible. These are some of the independence units that I talked about. This is a spawner. If you zoom out, you can see that it has like these arrows around it, and that's how you can recognize spawners very easily on the world map. Really annoying. They're gonna start spawning units in like 3, 4, 5 turns, something like that. So yeah, definitely want to get rid of that as soon as possible. But first, I want to move into this territory over here and try to negotiate with these guys. Right here we can see that we met a outpost, and they immediately offer us to open their borders and to get a peace treaty signed. And if we accept this, our alignment goes up, so then we get more good. I don't think we get any negative bonuses if we decline, but then they don't open our borders with them, so it's generally... I'm gonna go evil this game, but I still want to do this because it's just an easy way to move through this city to explore a little bit better and a little bit more. I'm gonna move my Wisp next time over here, and let's see where the Charger is gonna go. I'm definitely gonna pick up this stash and then move down here, most likely to follow the road and just start exploring a little bit. With my main army, I'm gonna attack this like I said earlier. I'm gonna do manual combat because I don't want to lose any units. And again, we're attacking a structure, so we have some kind of negative effect. In this case, we are in a choking fumes hazard. All of our units are starting to suffocate. Choking units suffer minus 300 happiness, minus 6 movement, that's really big, minus 2 physical damage, -2 armor and -2 magic resist or resistances. Dragon, machine, and undead units are and incorporeal units are immune. So yeah, some units are immune, but ours are not, unfortunately. So this guy is pretty banged up. So I'm gonna use him sparingly, but I can just use the rest of my guys to start firing at them pretty soon. I'm gonna use my flyer a little bit. So in this battle, you want to sort of look out for what the enemy does, because they have a flamer, and this one has a firebomb, and as you can see, it's an AoE spell. So I don't want to put any units next to each other if that's possible. So right here, they were too close next to each other, and that's why I separated them a little bit here. So with F4, you can see the hexes that are available to you and to where you can move to. So these are all the hexes that it can move to. Unfortunately, we can't see where he can get to with his flame bomb, but he can already reach our raptor. So yeah, let's just see what he does. Actually, we can also just bait it. Now that I think about it. We can just put these guys together, and since they're together, he's probably gonna try to firebomb this, and then he's gonna really overextend, and maybe kill himself that way because our charger is then able to get him. Let's see what happens. Okay, so he's gonna go safe. That's fine. So that's very good. That this guy gets attacked because I can attack him pretty easily. I'm first gonna do some range attacks with my leader, because these guys have a lot of fire protection, like 100%. So this guy really doesn't take damage from fire damage. So putting fire spit against him, which only does fire damage, does nothing. So that is something to be aware of. But since my leader does lightning damage, because he's a sorcerer, I can actually do a lot of damage to him. And with this one, I'm gonna move in here and try to attack the flamer. This guy attacks the hatchling. And then with a damaged one, I'm gonna attack these guys. So let's see, what do these have? 100% fire protection and 60% fire protection. So that's the only one we can actually damage with our flamer, with our hatchling. So I'm just gonna do that, just to get a little bit experience. So right now he's at the top. You can see 4 out of 10 experience. If I attack him, he should go up a little bit. Yeah, 6 out of 10. Even though it only does 1 damage, it doesn't matter. It depends on the tier of the unit that you're attacking, and if you kill it, you get more or less depending on that. I'm a bit worried about my charger here. I think it should be all right, but I'm not entirely certain. There's nothing I can do though, so I might as well just give him hand over my turn. So this is completely fine. Again, I want to level my Draconian hatchling, so I evolve him. So that's why I'm going to attack this guy, just for some damage. And the Draconian hatchling will take 10 damage, and since I have first strike, I'm always going to strike first, so I can just kill him outright. And then this guy, I really hope I can kill him with my leader, because I really want my leader to level. Nope, doesn't look like it. But I can deal some damage to him, and even though he has a range penalty, it doesn't really matter, because now he's under the threshold of the damage that the charger can do, so I'm guaranteed to kill him without taking more damage. There we go. So we just want to minimize the damage that we take and maximize the damage that they take. That's pretty much all that we're trying to do in the early game. So right here, several things to talk about. There's a magic library here, lost library, and these are all things that can give you stuff. So magma forges can give you 10 production. Mana nodes can give you 10 mana. The lost library gives you knowledge, but when it's located in your domain, you also unlock the Magic Academy. And if you look here, Magic Academy produce support units, receive +1 melee damage, +1 range damage, and a resistance. So you can produce really strong support units like this. So this structure has to be cleared and then in your domain to be able to get the bonus. And I really want to focus on getting my support units out this game. So this structure is going to be crucial for that. It's too early for me to fight this, but it's good to know that we have it as a backup. I'm going to walk over this refugee camp, which will give a group of people seeking a home. So this will give me some population for the nearest city that I own. And since the only city that I own right now is this one, it will give me some population and maybe even put me over the edge of population growth. So right here I have 3028. If I move this guy onto here, I get 1234. And as you can see here, now it grows in one turn. So the next turn, I'm actually going to grow my city already. Again, I just moved one unit onto there because I want to move as far as possible this turn. And I just want to make sure that I get that I make contact with this city, because the earlier you do that, the better. I don't think there's any way to get more movement than this. So I'm just gonna hope. Yeah, okay. It's really unfortunate that there's that we don't see a unit from here, because if we saw a unit just walking around, then we could make contact and then we would be able to take this over much a turn sooner. But it is what it is. I'm just gonna there's nothing else for me to do. I could summon another wisp, but our mana is pretty low, so I'm just gonna keep my mana for now and not summon another wisp. And turn, let the enemies do their turns. And here you can see, if this happened one turn earlier, then we would have made contact sooner. Because now we can see we meet this village. And it is a Draconian village, and the relation is respectful and neutral. And now I want to sign a peace treaty. Just because I want the relationship bonus to go up. I don't care about the alignment too much yet. This is the other option. -50 alignment, -50 relation, and -50 race happiness. And I think that's really the big one. I really do not want to go down in my race happiness. Because that's just a bad thing if you play with that race the entire game. So right here, I'm just going to ask them if they want to open our borders and sign a peace treaty, and that costs me 72 gold. Okay, they did. And now in 4 turns, I can make this place my vassal, and then I actually get bonuses from it as well. So any sort of gold income that they may have, like here is a gold mine, I benefit from that now as well. In the meantime, I just want to clear some structures that are in the way. And just want to clear this and move down here, clear that, and then see how far we get with our leveling and stuff like that. We also get a hero. It's a necromancer. That is really unfortunate, but yeah. You only get three choices for heroes. So the first one was a warlord, the second one a dreadnought, and the last one was a necromancer. And now you can see I can't click I require another hero. I just have to take this or leave it. And I would rather take a hero right now than leave it. So yeah, I'm just gonna put him in my party. And then just see what we can use him for. Okay, let's attack these guys. Again, same battlefield as earlier. I think the positions are a little bit different, but it's good that they come towards us already. Some of our units are pretty banged up, so I'm gonna use them sparingly. The others, yeah, I'm just gonna move them forward as much as possible. So this guy is a little bit banged up, but not too much. Since this guy can only attack the hatchling over here, I'm gonna move him more to the left side of the battlefield. Since he won't be able to do anything against the flamers, since they have 100% fire protection. I'm actually gonna give myself a secret enchantment here. Because I think that's going to be really useful when I start attacking the flamers. And I really hope, yeah, that's perfect. So right here, I can, oh, that's so unfortunate. So their range is like a little bit bigger than mine, because they can range, their range is over here, but since they can do AoE, they have sort of like one extra range in comparison to mine. Oof, that's really rough actually. I think I may let them come towards me first and then start attacking. Because right now I can only attack this guy over here, and it's not that much damage that I can do. So I'm gonna let them come a little bit closer to me and then start attacking. If I stand right here, they will attack me. I don't want that. So I'm just looking to spread them out as much as possible, just so they can't get AoE down by the flamers. I don't want to use another spell. I just want everyone to be in guard mode and just let them come to me. I'd take a little bit more damage this way, but I think it's safer. So let's see how we do this. You can only get there. You cannot get there. This one is gonna be a pain in the ass to kill. The rest is gonna be fine, I think. I think I'm just gonna attack this guy like so. I really want to attack this guy, but I know it's a bad idea. So let's see. So if I put my flamers my hatchlings right here, my raptor has to move around the flamer to get to the hatchling. So what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna move my raptor over here, my hatchling over here. Now I'm gonna attack with my hatchling, so he doesn't have a line of sight penalty because of the raptor moving forward. It's only 3 damage, but it gives him a level, you know, like it's a big thing. It's a big deal. And now I'm gonna attack with my raptor. Like we may take some losses here, but I'm not entirely certain. Yeah, I'm not gonna attack this guy yet. I'm just gonna gun this guy down, and then see what happens. We may lose this raptor here, but I'm not sure. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, good. Good. No problemo. Now I'm gonna move here so that I have a flanking position on this hatchling. And then kill him with the charger here. Oh, that's really unfortunate that I can't get there. But my leader should be able to get there and attack him from behind. And now he turned around so I can kill him with a flank attack. So yeah, it's just like chess, this game sometimes, where you really have to pay attention. Okay, where is the enemy standing? Which way is the enemy facing? And how can I make use of that? My units are pretty banged up. I'm not sure if we can take on another party. This one for sure is a tough one. It has 2 ranged units and a swarm that is really strong. And these guys are really strong as well. The Tigran Sun Guards. They have guard breakers, so even if we end up in guard mode, they can take us out of guard mode that way. Yeah, tough one. So right here we can see that our city leveled. So our city increases range by 1. So we now have this mana node in our domain. And I'm gonna start channeling my transform air node, because I can transform this mana node, this one over here, into an air node, which is gonna be useful. Am I gonna get out of this without any losses? I don't have ranged units. Oh, I'm not so sure. I think I'm just gonna leave that one. This one may be a little bit easier because I have some pikemen against the warg rider, and then also some units against the swarm darter and the untouchable. It's gonna be a tough battle though. Not easy at all. But yeah, let's see what they decide to do. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm just gonna regroup with my new hero. This is a Necromancer hero. Let's see what he has. He has Good Slayer, so he deals more damage against thingies dedicated to good. But he also has Blight weakness because he is a high elf, and high elves are weak to blight damage. So blight is like poison damage. That's sort of what you can compare it to. I think I'm just gonna play this really slow. Not go forward too much. I do wanna see if I can train my hatchling a little bit, but in general, I want to use the range of my heroes to my benefit here, and also use a Seeker Enchantment to my benefit. So I'm gonna cast that. It cost me 10 casting points, so now I can't cast it again. But it's gonna be really, really powerful, I think, in this fight. So I'm gonna move this guy over here, this guy over here. So I'm just gonna spread out my force a little bit here. Move this guy over here. So the Swarm Darter is the thing that I'm most worried about. The rest is like doable, I guess. But the Swarm Darter can do a lot of damage. So here's something that I haven't explained yet. So this hero has its own casting points. So this guy still has 15 casting points. So they don't count towards the total of casting points that my leader has. So this just my leader has 5 out of 25. Just what you see here. My hero has its own casting points with its own spells that he can use. So here I can use a Death Ray that does some amount of damage to the enemy depending on their resistances and stuff like that. It also has Stiffen Limbs, and I think Stiffen Limbs is going to be really important here. Stiffen Limbs makes them move 12 slower, so they lose 12 movement, which is a lot. -2 armor and -2 melee damage. So I'm going to use this on the Warg Rider just to disable him a little bit. I'm pretty sure that they should come to me now. Wow, they're still not. Oof. So the Warg Rider, you can see here, like it can only move 4 spaces now, and before it could move a lot. So I'm gonna attack this one twice, and then that's really unfortunate. So I'm pretty sure that if I move one closer, that I can kill this. So what I'm gonna do is, I have this obstacle here, and if I get rid of that, I can actually move onto this spot. No. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Now I'm gonna lose a unit. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we can just use a charger. Boom. Oh, that's so good. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy about that. I may still lose a unit, by the way. Just saying. Let's see. I can kill this. I can damage it. Yeah, okay, this guy does no damage whatsoever. I'm still gonna attack because, I mean, why not? And I'm gonna kill. Oh, that's really good. That was a lot of damage. And with this guy, I'm just gonna go into defense mode because I don't want him to die. So now the charge does 12 to 18 damage. If I take him out of defense mode, then the charge would do 14 to 20 damage, so a lot more. Actually, not that much more, but still some more. He will probably attack this guy, I guess. Let's see what he does. Oh, that's unfortunate. So we still lost the unit, but yeah, it is what it is. It's only a charger, and we can replace him with the hero that we just got, so it's not that big a deal. Definitely not good, but yeah, also not that big a deal. I'm going to use the hatchling here to turn this guy around to flank him. And now I can flank with my leader as well to deal more damage, and the Raptor can finish it off. So lost my first unit here, a charger, and we get a little bit of gold because we cleared a gold mine. And right here I think I'm gonna just not attack anymore. I'm pretty sure that if we attack this, then it's gonna be a bad time. Although now we have a ranged unit more. Am I gonna be greedy? Nah, I'm not. Let's just use the fast healing that every one of these guys has, and just get some more HP. My leader has leveled up. That means that we can do some upgrades. Upgrades can be seen here. The first ones are always the same. The first one's always hit points, defense, resistance, melee strength, range strength, and I think break control also, but I'm not entirely certain about that. And then the last ones are class specific. So charged army is something that is specific to a sorcerer. Magic affinity is also specific to a sorcerer. And then sometimes you can get things like shock protection, steel enchantment, stuff like that. In general, I want defensive stats before I do offensive stats. Just because if you take less damage, then you can do more battles, and that will enable you to deal more damage, even though it's in different battles. So the first thing I'm going to do is give my whole army some more resistances. So just one more resistance by clicking magic affinity. And out of the 5 upgrade points that I had, I only have 1 to spend now. And I could do this in hit points. I quite like hit points because 5 hit points right now for 1 upgrade point is like a 10% health boost, which is pretty decent. As you can see here, the regeneration is 18 per turn, and that is most likely just because of fast healing. I don't actually know why it's so high. Yeah, don't know. Never actually looked at that stat that much. Usually they just regenerates a little bit each turn. Yeah, let's get some hit points. Why not? Next turn or next level, I'm gonna give him charge army, and then my units do a little bit more combat damage, more shock damage. Let's use this guy to scout a little bit more. Okay, there's a watchtower. We can use that to increase our vision here and to keep vision of about this area. We first have to unlock it though by killing the army that is guarding it. So not gonna do that anytime soon. Oh, there's some interesting stuff here. There's a floating treasure chest. We can use that to get some gold. And now I'm gonna use my wisp to scout a little bit more in this direction. Okay. More camps. Okay, gonna go here next. So just using the wisp to my advantage here, just to get scouting information, and to, if you find new cities, then you can already ask them to become good or become peaceful with them, and that you can use them as vassal cities later on. I have nothing else to do, so let's just end our turn. So let's look at this HP bar, and as you can see, they gained a lot of HP back. And my sorcery is researched, and now instead of 25 we're 35, and we increased our max mana as well a little bit, but yeah, that's not really that important right now. It's more about the casting points in general. Okay, let's go. School of Enchantment is one of the major reasons why I chose this specific class race combination. School Enchantment is an Empire upgrade. Empire upgrades are things that you just research and then they're there. Then you like they apply to all of your units. And this one in particular Says support units receive training, utilize the imbalance of electric charges within the atmosphere. Support units gain in the inflict stun ability. Melee and range attacks of units that have inflict stun can cause the target to be stunned. Stunned units cannot take any action, e.g. move, attack, or retaliate for 1 turn. But it's actually better than that, because stunned targets, they are always flanked, so you always deal extra damage when you attack them. So it's actually a really, really powerful skill to have to stun targets. It would cost me way too many turns to research it right now, but it's really good that we have the ability to research it later. And that is actually one of the reasons why the Summon Apprentice is so good as well. Because if we look at this Draconian Apprentice, then we can see it has the ability to shoot firebombs, which can shoot out 3 times. And that's already really good, because then you have 3 times a stun chance of, X%. But it also has firebombs, which is the ability that we just saw with the flamers. And that's actually an AoE, and that can all stun. So if the enemy stacks, firebombs is amazing. Like as soon as you have 3 or more targets standing next to each other, the firebombs are just absolutely insane. So AoE stuns. Phew. I don't think there's anything else in this game that has... Oh no, there are some things that have AoE stuns, but it's very rare. But that also makes me want to get apprentices already, because I want to train them and get them ready for when we are when we get the School of Enchantment. Am I winning? I mean, it's going decently. I mean, I've lost 1 unit so far, so that's good. We almost, in 3 turns, we can make this city our vassal, and we can make this city our vassal in 2 turns already. So yeah, it's going pretty decently. I would like to explore a little bit more. Maybe get some of these scrolls of knowledge, like that I mentioned earlier, and also I want to unlock this magic academy, so that this city can produce these really OP apprentices when that is ready. So yeah, it's going well. Right here, I'm just gonna attack these guys, like I said earlier in the previous turn. I don't think... Ooh. Oh, they're just bleeding, right? Yeah, it's bleeding. So bleeding is a stat that you just lose HP. I mean, it's very straightforward, I would say. They have this ability because they have razor projectiles, and that is a armor check. So it's a 9 armor check, and that just depends on the... So if it was a 12 armor check, then the percentage of success would just be higher on my unit. Let's see how I'm going to play this, because I have a lot of mounted units, and these sun guards will just absolutely shred them. So I have to be really careful with how I approach this. So I can't just send this guy in here to charge the shredder, because I would just die the next turn. So I have to be a little bit more careful than that. So right here you can actually turn around your units. If you have a unit somewhere, you right click onto them, and then you drag your mouse into the direction that you want to face them in. Then you can just turn them around like that. So very useful, because right now if this guy gets attacked, which you can't, but if he would get attacked, then he would not get flanked. And yeah, flanking attacks just do more damage, so that's something you definitely want to avoid as much as possible. I'm going to give this guy a secret enchantment, because these guys have fire protection, so any sort of... maybe this guy would have been better. So any sort of fire damage that we do is just going to get mitigated by them. Let's just do this, I guess. So now this guy can attack this raptor, and this guy can only attack this raptor. And yeah, this guy will attack this raptor, I guess. So yeah, he's just gonna get it real bad. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's interesting. I was not expecting that. Okay, let's kill some dudes. So I'm gonna flank this guy first. Then, because this guy is not facing here anymore. So, this is something that I haven't explained yet either. And that is attacks of opportunity. So right here, if I would move here, you can see these red arrows here. And that is, if the opponent is facing somewhere, then he can attack in these three hexes in front of him. So if I would move here, then I would get hit twice by this Tigran Sun Guard, just from moving here. But since I'm at the back of his, since I'm on his back, I can just move freely towards this shredder without taking any damage. So that is a way. Turning things around in this game is very, very, very important. To not only deal a lot of damage, but also avoid a lot of damage. That is not a lot of damage. Oh, that is not a lot of damage. I wonder. I think this might actually be good. So I'm gonna fly over here, attack this guy in the back. Now I'm gonna use this guy to go over here. Oh my goodness, this is so sick. Use the hatchling's mobility to turn this guy around. And now attack with my Fae the Frigid. Attack the Sun Guard in his back. And I'm actually gonna move this guy over here already. That was very bad. I didn't see that he was facing this way. Ah, fuck. Okay, I could have done it a little bit better, but I think it still works out. Because I can turn him around, and now it doesn't even matter because he's dead already. So what I wanted to do there was prepare this raptor for the Sun Guard turning around, and then use an attack of opportunity again. It doesn't really matter because I can still kill the shredder, and then we're done with the battle. But yeah, not unnecessary damage there. And since we don't have healing, that's actually pretty big. So right here is something interesting. There's some haste berries over here, and haste berries replenish all of your movement. And then I can just basically move more using that. I cannot clear a dungeon yet. I know that, so I know approximately what's in there. I don't want to clear this column of the champions yet, because that's if you move onto this hex and you kill the army, the units that moved onto the hex will receive an additional level, and that sounds great. But in the early game, you get levels pretty quickly. So I want to use this when I'm higher level, and it takes me more XP to get to a higher level. I may just want to move back and... Or no, I'm actually gonna... What am I gonna do here? Maybe I'll just start clearing these scrolls of knowledge and just get my apprentices out faster. I can also move over here, clear some stuff over here. That might also be a good idea. Like right now, my party is pretty weak. I don't want to move into this swamp area. So as you can see here, there's wetlands, and it costs me a lot of movement to get through that. So I would be pretty slow to move through this, and I don't know what's on the other side. If I would have a scout roaming around here, showing me what's in here, that might be useful, but I don't. Let's try to get in there. Oh, that's another spawner, by the way. That's not that great. I really want to go evil. Okay, nah. Let's not waste our gold here. So right now I'm not at war with them, but I'm also not willing to sign a peace treaty for 70 gold. I think we can just take over that city forcefully once we get there with our army. And you know what? Just because we found this outpost here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move to the Scrolls of Knowledge, and then move downwards here for this watchtower, and then take over the city by force. I think that's a good idea. We're just gonna leave the Lost Library for what it is for now. We can't really do anything with it currently. We don't need to make support units just yet. That's a really good structure. Oh, that's really good. I need this. Okay, this city is gonna be really, really good for me. What? What? Okay, just as a clarification why I had that outburst. So human knights are tier 3 units. Usually, these item racks, they contain decent loot. Not that great, but decent. And it's guarded by 5 human knights, which is a lot. Like a lot. And these are really strong units. And then also human priests on tier 2 units. So yeah, that's a rough one. Okay, next turn. Let the independence do its thing. And something has a quest available for me. So because I'm gonna move there, I'm gonna take this deal. So this is something. This is a. Oh, did I just delete? Did I just decline the quest? Ah, fuck! I wanted to close it. Mistakes were made. I just signed a peace treaty. I did not want to do that, but it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. Yeah. This is all planned. Educational content, so you know now what not to do. Yeah, I am being a dumbass. So that was a quest, and you can get quests whenever you can take over a city to become a vassal, for instance, or if you get the chance to completely take over the city, you can also sometimes get quests. Quests can be useful, not always, depends a bit on the quest. But yeah, they can be pretty useful. That's unfortunate. So right here you can see there's another city there, so I just want to make contact. And if there was a unit here somewhere, then I would have made contact, but there isn't. We also unfortunately cannot move onto these here hazeberries, so yeah, it is what it is. Next turn we're gonna get it. Our builder's hall is finally finished, so that means our storehouse now only costs two turns to finish. But I think before that I'm gonna upgrade my stone wall, because if you build a stone wall, then you increase the domain radius by 1, so we actually get this magma forge into our domain, and that is really useful because it gives us more production, and that means that the laboratory will be maybe one turn less, and I really want the laboratory out. Laboratory gives me more research, and support units in the city gain an additional rank, which is really useful since we're researching a support unit. So yeah, very, very useful. So I'm probably gonna queue this right after. I also want to transform this into an air node, which will also give me 5 extra knowledge. Good stuff. There was a city here somewhere, right? Yeah, there is. So I want to get in there as soon as possible, and then get these scrolls of knowledge. I'm I'm also going to summon another Wisp. Going to be finished next turn because I want to scout a little bit more. I definitely want to know what's over here because, like I mentioned earlier, that's going to be really useful for to know what is out there, to see, okay, where do I need to go. Race Covenants is level up, so this is something that happens. The more friendly you are with a certain race, the more likely you are to go up a level with the Race Covenants, and these are just permanent bonuses that you can get. In general, I like the economic ones way more than the combat ones. So left is always combat, and the right ones are economic bonuses. So there's 5 stages to this. I very, very, very rarely get to the 5th stage. Sometimes 3, but also that is already quite a lot. I generally tend to go for the economic bonuses because I think they're just much better. All shrines in Draconian cities are 35 gold cheaper to build. Less gold to spend on buildings, the better. So yeah, that's great. All Draconian Flamers get +1 armor and 5 health. That's great, but Draconian Flamers are tier 1 units, so we're not going to use them very long. So I would rather get the permanent bonus of having cheaper shrines. My Wisp is ready to cast. I think I'm going to do that later. First, I'm going to select a new research. So because we just unlocked the Wisp, or unlocked the Apprentice, we can now start researching the Phantasm Warrior. So there's like things in that are always in succession. These are class specific. So the Phantasm Warrior is a thing that you can summon just like the Wisp. So you summon it down here. And it's really, really, really powerful. So the Phantasm Warriors is what we're going to kill here. And yeah, they just have a lot of resistances. And on veteran rank, they get more shock protection. And on elite rank, they get even more shock protection. And then also tireless. And yeah, tireless is an ability that if you get attacked and this unit attacks back, then he doesn't lose movement points, so he can still attack in the next turn. It's a bit complicated, but it's a really good ability to have. Since we are about to get some Scrolls of Knowledge, I think I might just start researching the Phantasm Warriors, just so we have the ability to summon him into one of our armies. I think this will make a really, really, really good addition to our army instead of like the Hatchling or the Charger. I think the Charger is really bad at this point. And yeah, since we are able to get some scrolls here, actually, let me do it like this. I think that's going to be really powerful. So they have shock protection and physical protection. So no protection against Blight and Frost, which is what this guy is dealing. So I'm going to buff this guy with a Secret Enchantment. And then use the rest of my guys as bait. So I'm going to move this guy right here. So he's now going to be attacked by these two guys, but not by him. I'm going to move you over here, so you can get attacked by this guy, but not by this guy. And now I'm just baiting them into a bad position. That's pretty much all I'm doing. I'm going to set up this guy to start flanking when they both come into when they both come closer. This guy gets attacked. That guy gets attacked once and gets another one. So here. So this guy retaliated twice, and because he already attacked twice in the previous turn when the enemy was attacking me, I can only do one more attack. So as you can see, he's red currently. So that's all of this has to do with the amount of movement that you have. So movement in this game is very, very, very important. I think it's one of the most important stats in this game, actually. And right now I have to think about how I want to play this. I'm definitely gonna want to move this guy over here, attack here. Now you can kill this guy. That crit was actually really big. Really, really big. Now you can go over here and attack this guy. So I do 12 damage at a minimum times 3. So that's already enough to kill him outright. So I know that I'm gonna kill. And now this, I'm gonna use you to turn this bad boy around. And now use this guy's charge ability. So charge is this one here. Deals +6 physical damage on the first strike in melee combat. If the unit has moved 3 or more hexes. So if you can see 1, 2, 3, that means I have to be I have to have moved 3 hexes, and then I would still be able to attack twice. And if I would just attack right now, I would only move 2 hexes. So I'm first going to move back, and then I'm going to use my charge ability to actually charge the enemy. But before I do that, again, I'm going to think about the next turn. So if I move this guy over here, then he's going to turn around, and I'm not going to be able to flank him with my charger. And I want that, so I'm going to move this guy over here. Maybe he dies before that, but maybe he doesn't. And if he doesn't, then now I can flank him, and I do more damage. I wasn't able to finish him off, unfortunately, but yeah, it is what it is. This was the best that I can do here. 123 knowledge. So my Phantasm Warrior has been researched already. That's really, really, really good. Oh my goodness, that's so good. Wow, that's so good. So the next thing I want to research is the Arcane Study. Just getting more research is just better. So every single observatory, laboratory is going to give me +5 now. So when I actually build this laboratory, it's not going to give me 10, it's going to give me 15. And as you can see, 26 is our current income. So it's going to give me a lot of knowledge there. So I'm going to keep moving with these guys. Maybe this would have been better to just go straight here. But it doesn't matter. Next turn, we're going to take over this lighthouse here. I don't think I can kill the tomb yet. So for these, especially these epic ones, you have to be really careful with those. Because they can be really nasty. One thing that is really difficult to see. I saw that there was something here. And you can sort of see some structure here. But if I zoom out, you can actually see that there's a spawner here. So one thing that I showed you earlier was this spawner over here, where you have these pointy edges here. And yeah, that's just going to show you that zooming out is a really good way of spotting these spawners. These things have to go. Like, they're so nasty. And there's one down here as well, which I'm going to take care of in a bit when we move down here. Yeah, we definitely want to take care of that as soon as possible. So this is not a city, this is a dwelling. A dwelling is slightly different than a city because it cannot grow, and you can make special units that you cannot make in other cities. Here's also a screen that we haven't seen before. You can this is something you can sometimes have if you go into another city. You can either trespass or negotiate. In general, I negotiate unless I want to go evil. And they immediately offer me open borders and a peace treaty. I'm just going to accept that, and then click on let me know if you're ready to talk. Because then they will tell me, okay, it's time to join us or something. So you can use this to your advantage. So this is Naga dwellings can be really, really powerful, but you have to level them, and it takes a long time. Okay, another. Oh my goodness, another halfling outpost. It's a really good decision that we came down here, because I'm now going to take this and this one by force. they are offering me peace things, and now I'm already 125 like good, let's say. But I really want to go evil this game, and you'll see why later, because I want to transform all of these terrains to Draconian, which is going to be really, really good, because Draconian apprentices are just powerful. Really powerful. Way more powerful than any other apprentice. So you can also make halfling apprentices here, but they don't even come close to what the Draconian is capable of. At 200 happiness, like at 200 alignment, your alignment changes to either good or evil. So plus 200 is then you're good, minus 200 then you're evil, and your units actually gain a happiness bonus of that. So switching from happy to or from good to evil is not that great. So we want to stay under this 200 threshold. That's fine. Yeah, you can also tell me when you're ready to talk. That's completely fine. I've already told that you want to talk. Yeah, sure. And with you, I want to get into this dwelling, because that's also another dwelling. This is an undead dwelling. Yeah, they're at war. They're at war with us currently. So here you can see relation wary and war. But sometimes they offer you a quest where you can increase the race relationship with them, and then you can sort of take them over later. So there's some stuff that you can do with that to increase your relations with them. I think, if I remember correctly, then we can get a vessel from this one. Yeah. So right here, I can now get them to become a vessel, and the income that I get from that is 300 gold and 8 mana. But it's more about the fact that when I get them to become my vassal, then in 6 turns after that, I can take over the city entirely, and it's just my city, and I can just do with it whatever I want. So really, really good if to get this. Plus 300 relation, plus 25 alignment. Alignment is not that great, but yeah, it's just additional income. But it's quite expensive actually, and man, this is just. I don't think I've ever seen a item rack this well guarded. Unbelievable. So this one is going to be next turn. So yeah, let's see what they offer us. So sometimes you can get a quest from when they want to become a vassal. I really hope they don't give me a quest, because I just want to take them over with gold. But yeah, even if they give me a quest, I can always decline the quest and then take over the city with gold anyway. But yeah, quests are a way to go around, to get around the gold. Alliance proposal, yeah, that's perfect. So this one is already a little bit more. You get 10 knowledge, 12 mana, and 28 gold from it. Much better than the other one. I don't know where the knowledge is coming from, but I am very happy with 36 knowledge. That's going to help me out a lot with researching stuff. I'm almost ready, I think, to research School of Enchantment, because sometimes you can get knowledge from clearing structures as well. So if I raid a tomb, for instance, then I may get some knowledge. I'm not entirely certain about that, by the way. But for sure, if I raid the Magic Library, then I get some knowledge. So it doesn't necessarily always take you 17 turns to research this. This also depends on the amount of knowledge that you produce. Okay, very good. We have 2 vassals now. We have a lot of gold income now, and very little gold still available to us. We also made a stone wall in this city. And as I predicted, our laboratory now it can be built in 2 turns, which is great. And this magma forge is really useful in this city as well. I'm probably gonna start building a second army pretty soon. Just because I can make the apprentices, and they're just incredibly good, especially when I combine them with the Phantasm Warriors that I just researched with the Scrolls of Knowledge. So yeah, I'm probably gonna do that reasonably soon. But first I want to clear out some more of these structures and take over a few more of these villages. Very good. I always love it when they come to me, because that means they're out of guard mode when they attack. And if they're out of guard mode, then they're generally a lot squishier, and I can just kill them easier. Okay, that's not enough. That is quite unfortunate, but I'm still going to attack you because I want some experience. I just want this guy to get experience. If I would kill them, I would get more experience, but yeah, I don't have that luxury, so yeah. Just gonna have to deal with that. This guy can go over here, attack this one. Charge in there, and you charge in there. Good, only one left. Easy peasy. Probably gonna flank this one, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay. Unfortunately, I really have no way of healing, but because this guy didn't die, I can kill him and I can actually level my hatchling, so I can evolve him maybe sometime in the future. Yeah, this is gonna give me a little bit more vision. That's really great. I really want to get when they get this treasure here, because it usually means free gold, and it is. That's perfect. And now I see free mana here, which is also great. The next thing I want to clear is this spawner over here. This spawner is going to be really difficult, actually. Maybe I don't want to do this. Spiders are freaking terrifying in this game. Spiders are animal units. You can see it there, Dread Spider Baby, and then below that says Tier 1 Animal. There are certain classes that can deal with animals better, like you have Animal Slayer, with which you deal additional damage to animals and stuff like that. I don't think we have any of that yet, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm thinking about going Spirit Shield here, or if I should go Charged Army and Stunning Touch. No, actually I can only go Charged Army. I think I'm going to go Charged Army here, because the Spirit Shield is not going to help us with the fight against the halflings, and it's not going to help us in the fight against the spiders, because they only do blight damage and physical damage. So I'm thinking a little bit about the future here, about what we're going to face and what makes sense. So a little bit more damage may help out, just to get that little bit of oomph that we need to actually be able to kill some stuff. So let's see here. I just want to scout around with this guy just to see what's around here. So far nothing really interesting, but yeah, always good to scout your surroundings. Okay, that's also really good. A Heart of the Blight. So these heart structures are really important. So there's one here, and there's also one over here. You can't really see it, but heart structures always have sort of the same benefit. They give you some happiness, and also some casting points when they're in your domain. When explored, add 200 happiness and 10 casting point, as the ability to inflict severe poison to produced units and remove all blighted terrain penalties when located in your domain. So if I have, since my units have, I think the terrain is so they hate blighted domain. So if I locate that in my domain, then my units don't actually get a happiness debuff from walking onto blighted domain. So it's really, really useful in situations like that. I think I just want to go down here, explore a little bit more down here. Like I said, I want to clear out this spawn. I really hope it doesn't spawn this turn, because yeah, that would be kind of a shame. Because then I'd have to fight more and more spiders. Let's see what it does. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to summon a Phantasm Warrior there because it cost too much mana. It cost me 80 mana and only had 76. But yeah, I was able to. I can now just wait and summon a Phantasm Warrior now. Let's see if I want to do that though. Arcane Study has been researched, so we get a little bit more research from our or knowledge from our laboratories and from observatories. And since we want to start casting making some of these Phantasm Warriors, I think it's good to upgrade either sorcery or magical structures. So magical structures give me +3 additional mana for each treasure site in my domain. So each of these sites will give me, onto their normal bonus, will just give me 3 extra mana. So more mana just means more things that I can upkeep with by casting. So all of my units actually have an upkeep. Let me just find one here. So this is a summoned unit, so it has a mana upkeep of 9. Whereas my produced units have a gold upkeep. So it just depends. If you make them, it has a gold upkeep. If you summon them, then they have a mana upkeep. So I think more casting points is better right now, because that means I can just summon more things, and then afterwards I can upgrade my mana resource. So let's go over here, try and take care of this spawner. This is going to be challenging. Like, this is going to be really hard, I think. Yeah, very likely victory. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, very likely victory, I can sort of imagine that, but maybe with some losses. Because these things have great webbing touch, or this one even greater webbing touch, and they can basically stun the targets that they're trying to web, and yeah, that can be really rough. I definitely want to prepare a little bit in this fight, so I'm gonna give this guy a secret enchantment, and I'm just gonna since they're not coming my way, they're not gonna come my way unless I move forward. So I just want to prepare my guys a little bit, especially my ranged guys, with some secret enchantments, and I also want to cast Stiffen Limbs on some of them. So not necessarily on this Hunter Spider Queen, because on top of having greater webbing touch, it also has phase, and phase lets them teleport to a hex on the map, like a certain distance away, and they still have 1 action point left afterwards, and after which they can use their webbing touch. So it's, yeah, they're kind of difficult to deal with. It is an armor check, so I do want one of my raptors in front. And I'm going to use Stiffen Limbs on one of their other targets that doesn't have a phase. So one of these, basically. And I think... So here's a bridge that they can move over. And over here they can come this way. So they can't move over this lava here. So I just want to make sure that this Spider Queen dies before the rest of them arrive. So I'm going to cast Stiffen Limbs, which removes their, which reduces their movement. So right here you can see they can only move 3 hexes, and this one can move way more. And it was pretty much the same amount of movement. So let's see what they do. I think this guy might come to me already. No, it doesn't. That means we can put another Stiffen Limbs on someone. I'm going to use this one. Is that? Maybe I shouldn't use this one. So this one is pretty banged up, so I don't know if that's a great idea to use that one. Oof. Yeah, okay. That's a thing, eh? So, the good news is, this one has stiffened limbs, so he can't get to us next turn. This one has stiffened limbs, so he can't get to us next turn, but this one doesn't, so... Yeah, that's kind of tough. I do think I'm gonna charge again, so I'm gonna use 1, 2, 3, and then use the charge ability to turn this guy around. Move this one back 1 space. Attack. And then finish him off with this bad boy. And this one can attack over here. That's great. Yeah, I think I want to kill him off here. So I'm going to kill him off with my hatchlings. And I think that should be all my units used. Yeah. So this guy is going to move over here. Nothing really to worry about. The one I'm worried about is this one. Because he's probably going to attack. Yeah, that's what I thought. But since he's almost dead, I can just gun him down with my hatchling. And actually get some more experience out of it. This one is still webbed for 2 more turns. Which is, you know, not great. To say the least. But since this one can't get to me, I'm just going to move everything out of the way and then just try to flank him to Narnia. So let's see if that works, if my plan actually works. Seeker, boom, 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 and then let's just get him like this. Let's just charge him. So charge is really, really powerful ability, and since we took care of a spawner, we probably get something afterwards. So we get some Angelic Robes, which has a Holy Champion on it, deals +5 fire damage against undead monsters dedicated to evil units. Undead monsters and dedicated to evil, that's actually quite good. And Urban Concealment, that's not very good. I'm not sure if we want to take this. Or if you just sell it for gold. So gold is really important right now because we use that to grow our cities. I'm not so sure. Look, if these were things that give me armor or something like that, or like some resistance stats, then it would have been great. But since it's only urban concealment, I mean units are invisible and the unit is invisible in structures on the strategic map. That never happens. So what's the point of getting this? And this one is like, yeah, it's great, but I mean it's very specific. Only undead, monsters, and dedicated to evil units. So I'm just going to sell it, I think. Okay. Let's attack this bad boy. Okay, that's great. So this is the first time that we had this pop-up. Units tremble in fear before you, and they're trying to flee the battle. What do you want to do? I'm definitely going to show no mercy. So I'm doing no mercy here because otherwise you don't get experience. So if you let them run, you're not fighting them, so you don't get experience. But I do want to get experience because I want to level my hatchling, and also I want to level my other heroes. So I'm just going to leave this guy back because he's pretty banged up. And I'm just going to use the rest of my units to the best of my abilities. So this guy has a little bit of fire protection, right? Oh yeah, he is veteran now, so he actually has some more fire protection. So he has 60%, and he has inflict scorching heat. Melee and range attacks inflict scorching heat. Scorching heat units over -3 strength, and it lasts for 3 turns. That's great. And yeah, I don't need to cast any more things. I think I just want to save that for when I start casting my my summons. So I want to keep this guy a little bit back because he's pretty damaged, so I don't want him to take more damage than necessary. That's great. I'm very happy about that. Oh, okay. That turned out pretty good, but okay. Let's see how we play this. Yeah, probably just gonna charge in there. It's gonna charge in here. Gonna fire 3 times on that, And then gonna finish this guy off with my hatchling to give him some experience. So yeah, pretty easy fights. I mean, not really that much to say. Just play it safe and careful, and then you're gonna be completely fine. Right here, I'm probably just gonna declare war on the halflings. There's only 3 units guarding it. 2 Night's Watches. They're only melee units, so they're not that threatening. And only one adventurer that has a slingshot. That is not even a great ability. So I'm going to declare war on them here by attacking their main thing. I'm going to declare war. And I'm going to go into manual combat. One thing that is going to be crucial here is the Secret Enchantment. So the Secret Enchantment will give me the ability to have no line of sight penalty with these walls. And yeah, that's so powerful. I think Secret Enchantment, because of that, Secret Enchantment is one of the better enchantments in the game, actually. Yeah, our Raptors are really banged up, so I don't really want to use them unless I really have to, and also my Charger is the same. So I'm mainly going to focus on relying on my hero here. I think they have pole arm, actually, now that I think about it. They don't. Okay, that's good. In that case, I'm just free to attack this bad boy over here with the Secret Enchantment. Get some fire damage going on there, and then kill them off with... Ooh! Okay, there's something that we haven't seen before. That's the Lucky ability. That is really bad. Luckily, he doesn't do that much damage. But yeah, Lucky can be a really nasty ability. So this guy is 15% lucky. So hostile attacks and spells against this unit have a chance to miss. The chance is greater with higher morale. While low morale units are never lucky. Having lucky more than once makes a unit very lucky, increasing its luck chance by 50%. Wow. That's pretty sick. Okay. So yeah, that means we don't kill him. And he actually gets off a few more attacks on me. It shouldn't really matter too much, but yeah, it's just annoying. I can kill him with my hatchling here, which will make him level. He's almost elite, which means that we almost get to see this guy in action. I'm just gonna move forward here. I think these things don't pose through too much of a threat, so I can just attack right here. They might be lucky though. Like, that's the only thing. Oh my goodness! Oi, oi, oi. That's unfortunate, to say the least. Okay, let's charge in there. We're gonna take a little bit more damage. It is what it is. We have pole arm on this one, and then this one should just die straight up unless it's lucky. Yeah, good. Okay, we took a little bit more damage there because of some lucky stuff. It is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. And the next thing I'm gonna focus on is this thingy here. So right here we've taken over a city, and this means that we now have this screen in front of us. We can't yet produce units or produce upgrades. We first have to look, okay, what do we actually want to do with the city? Do we want to return it as a vassal? So do we want to do the same that we have here, where the units of the given race are guarding it, and we don't actually have to think about, okay, how do we protect the city? Do we want to absorb it? So then the race will stay the same, and the relation of the race doesn't change. Do we want to migrate it to Draconians? Then we lose some of the race happiness of the halflings. We lose some alignment, but the Draconian race happiness actually increases. We also lose some population, so the city might shrink. We can plunder it to get some resources from the base. This all depends. How much you get is from the size of the thing. or we can raise it, and that just means that we completely destroy the city. And in this case, I'm going to migrate to Draconians because I want my Draconians to be super happy. And like I said, I want to go evil in this case. And it also takes the least amount of time. So after 2 turns, this is my city. I have to manage it and protect it and do everything in my power to you know, make it flourish. Okay, our leader got leveled. Now I am going to take Spirit Shield. I don't know what I'm going to face next, but I think making my units more resistant to 1 damage type is always a good thing. And yeah, that's just a thingy pop-up message that we declared war. And one of my heroes is leveled, and that is my Necromancer hero. As you can see here, the first things are always the same. It's hit points, defense, resistance, melee strength, range strength. And then this is all race and class specific. So let's see. I really like Inflict Despair on Necromancer. On Necromancer heroes, because you cause them weakness and then they lose some spirit resistance. I don't really use that, but they also lose happiness, and if they have less happiness, they have more chance to fumble, and fumbling attacks, they deal way less damage. So yeah, just good stuff in general. Okay, some more stuff. So this is another armor stand, an item rack, and this just has a few tier 1 goblins guarding it, right? And this bad boy over here, 5 human knights. So insane. So insane. Absolutely ridiculous. So right here, I'm just looking for spawners. If there's any more of these spiky signs. I should probably start producing apprentices soon. Because these spawners are going to spawn units pretty soon. And yeah, that's going to give me a hard time if they start taking over my city. So let's see. Do I produce them now? I think I do, actually. I'm just going to plop 2 in there. That should be able to... oh yeah, here. They've already spawned. Oh, that's really good that we did this now. Because if they moved in here, then we would have a really bad time. I think they should be on time. And there's going to be some lost souls that we have to contend with here. So yeah, we have to protect our city at some point. This guy can just scout a little bit. And right here we can summon a Phantasm Warrior. Perfect. That's going to be our first Phantasm Warrior, and it's going to replace the Charger that we have in here. I really hope that this Draconian Hatchling turns into something good. I hope not a Flamer or a Charger or a Crusher. Oh, that would be so hard. An Elder, I'm very happy with. Flyer, very happy. But the rest is just like useless. But yeah, very good. We got our first city in 2 turns. And these cities are going to become ours very soon. So yeah, very, very good start, I feel like. We just have to be careful of these guards. Okay, so they're going over here. And these should have also produced some spawners. So yeah, we have to be careful about that as well. 53 knowledge. That is not bad at all. I think I'm going to start researching School of Enchantment here. After my sorcery. Because I think it's just going to be incredibly important. It's going to be worth the wait. Over anything else that we may get in the meantime. Okay, another spawner here, as you can see. So yeah, something else that we have to contend with when we take this city. Okay, let's move over here. So right here I see another structure. Initially I was just going to send one guy over here and then move back over here and take over this. But since there's another structure here, I'm just going to move all of my guys onto here. No mercy. And I'm going to do manual combat still. Because I really don't want to run the risk of losing one of my guys right now. I mean, I just want to protect my units. They have phase, so they can just instantly teleport to me and then just deal damage, which is annoying. Yeah, let's just deal with that wisp first. Very good. My leader got stunned, so that's a bit unfortunate. But actually, I should attack this just outright, and I should be able to kill this. What is that? 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 is the min damage. So I can just level my guy here a little bit. So, good stuff. Easy fight. No problemo. Okay. Let's grab. Ooh. I don't know if you want to fight this. Not with our current HP, at least. So we still have so much damage that we have to heal up. And this is actually quite a strong party to kill. So they're halflings. They're lucky again. So that's one thing. But also, this is a tier 3 unit. Tier 2 unit. And then 2 tier 1 units. But actually, this one is pretty decent as well because he has throw chicken. I mean, it sounds rubbish, but it's a really good ability, actually. So they are cavalry units, these two. Or at least flying and cavalry. So my charger is going to do work. But the problem is, I don't think that the rest of my heroes are strong enough to deal with these units yet. So I think I'm just going to leave them for now and just come back to them after we take the city. Yeah, I'm not gonna make you my vassal, but sure. So let's see. This guy can scout down here a little bit more. My other scouts can. Oh, I'm so glad that I went here. Oh my goodness. So here's another spawner. Very annoying because yeah, I just moved my army down here. If I would have known this, then I would have probably cleared out this spawner first and then moved to this inn. But yeah, it is what it is. We have to deal with spawning units now. Maybe I'll move. Maybe in the next turn I move my Phantasm Warrior. Oh, maybe I just leave this party for as it is, and I just make a new party here because I should get a hero pretty soon as well. And then summon the Phantasm Warrior in my main city together with the apprentices, and they actually synergize really well together. 4 more turns. That should mean this should be 3 more turns. Yeah. Good. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I think I'll just keep the Phantasm Warrior as is. Oh no! Don't attack my wisp. Yeah, I'm just gonna auto combat this. There's no point in saving this. So sometimes you can outrun the enemy. One thing about combat that I haven't mentioned yet is that if there's no damage dealt after 5 turns of combat, then you automatically leave the combat area, and it's basically as if the combat never happened. But yeah, these things have ranged abilities. They have shoot light crossbow, as you can see here. And when there's ranged abilities in play, then you just lose. Yeah, it is what it is. We lost the wisp. Not that big a deal. So halflings are very unhappy. That's fine with me. Oh, they want to offer me a quest. Oh, let's take that quest. That's great. We can take the quest, accept the vassal proposal, and then take over that city by force. That's great. That's very thoughtful of them. That's very, very thoughtful of them. So these kobolds, they don't do anything. These two, they're very bad units in general. The spider and the banshee do a little bit more, so I do have to be a little bit more afraid of that. In general, I would say they're pretty. It's going to be a pretty straightforward battle, because this thing is probably just going to move to here and then do a Whale of Despair, or just teleport in the middle here and then do a Whale of Despair, and then we have a chance to be despaired. And I just have to look up what despair actually is. So F1, and then despair unit ability. This unit suffers 200 happiness less and 20% spirit weakness. And since this thing deals spirit damage and frost damage, that can be quite damaging. But yeah, the rest just does poison damage, so it doesn't really matter that much. I'm just going to protect my guys and then just see what happens. Yeah, like I said, he's just going to move in and this guy is going to get webbed. All very predictable so far. So right here, just want to take care of the Banshee because... Oh, that was very little damage. I was hoping to kill it with the hatchling to get it leveled. Let's see, 52 and we need 70 XP. I think I'm just going to kill the kobold with this then. And then move this guy onto here. The Banshee is an undead unit, and undead units usually have fire weakness and spirit weakness. And since I have fire damage on my raptors, that's actually a really good way to kill these guys. And now this guy can... what does this kobold have? Nothing. Let's attack from here with my charger. Okay, that was more damage than I expected. Yeah, let's just let him come to me. I mean, the kobold is probably gonna attack this guy or this guy. Or it's just stupid and it's not gonna attack at all. Perfect. That means more experience for my hatchling. Very nice. Very, very nice. So killing units actually gives more experience than just attacking units. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind, especially when wanting to level a unit. So this guy only needs 8 more experience and then he's actually leveled, so that's really, really good. Okay, so now we have a chance. Do we want to get the Vassal Proposal and the Pony Rider, or do we want to sell it for gold for 104 gold? The Pony Rider is decent, but it's a halfling, and as you just saw, my reputation with the halflings is not the greatest, so I don't actually want this Pony Rider, so I'm gonna sell it for gold, and then I'm just gonna move on to the city next turn. So this city finished migration. That's great. So now it is my city, and I can do with it whatever I want and whatever I need. So I need to remember that there's guards here, that there's roaming guards. So I need to kill this, probably kill this, and then move back up here to free up this magma forge? No, that's a Flora Quarry. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, then I need to clear this out as soon as possible. That's going to be crucial, because otherwise the independents are just going to take my city, and yeah, that's not a great idea. Yeah, they want to become my vassal, but yeah, no, that's too expensive. I mean, we have a lot of cash currently, but that's gonna go super soon. As soon as we start a few upgrades here, that's just gonna go very, very fast. I definitely want the Builder's Hall here. It's gonna double my production. And afterwards, I'm probably gonna make a laboratory or something like that, just to get more research going. As I mentioned, I'm gonna summon my what's it called here? Ooh, ay. That's really unfortunate. So here's something interesting. So there's enemies here, right at my gate. And because of that, I get a happiness debuff. Minus 215 city happiness modifiers. And that is because 200, minus 200 enemy at the gates, minus 200 enemy in domain. So if they would just be in my domain, I would get only minus 200. But since they're at my gates, right here, I get another happiness modifier. And because of that, my Draconian apprentices take longer to make, because I get a debuff on the production that I have. And this is really bad because now I only have my little Phantasm Warrior here to defend. So I need to figure out if I want to. I can rush this, which costs me gold. But my Draconian Apprentice will be finished next turn. This is gonna cost me 50 gold and minus 100 happiness for the next 5 turns. I think this is gonna be worth it. Right now they're very unhappy, but these guys are gonna attack me next turn, and there's some more waiting over here. So I need to be able to kill both of these groups, and I think with a warrior and a apprentice I'm gonna be able to do that. I'm also gonna select a new research, and that's gonna be... I think it's gonna be School of Enchantment. Or am I gonna go for a heal here? Starblades is really good as well. So there's a tier 2 spell that can actually make me be able to heal my units in combat. So that's really good as well, considering that I'm currently really lacking healing. Actually, let's do that before School of Enchantment. Yeah, okay, so there's a domain invasion here since there's enemy units in my domain. I'm gonna set this guy to camp, so I don't get this pop-up message anymore that I still have to move my units. This guy can just stroll on through here, just keep on exploring. Ah! And we found the enemy. Okay. Let's look at diplomacy. We're fighting against an orc rogue and a dwarf necromancer. Okay. I really hate fighting necromancers. Like they're really difficult to deal with, especially for me, with a as a sorcerer. But necromancers also have fire weakness generally, so my draconian side is gonna be really helpful for that. Orc rogue, oof, really rough one. That's yeah, that's a tough one. This guy is gonna be really rough because he's gonna put happiness modifiers, spells on my cities, and yeah, it's just generally gonna be a bad time. Let me just have a look at their spells here. So they have air 1, earth 1, and water 1, and earth 1, fire 1, and evil. So this one is gonna go evil. The necromancer. Dwarf necromancer is really powerful, actually. The dwarf firstborns are gonna be really, really dangerous, but I hope we don't get to that point. But that does mean that I probably will lose my wisp here, unfortunately. So I'm gonna try to hide him on this terrain. Because on mountains they can never move really easily because it costs a lot of movement. So let's hope that was enough. And yeah, I'm just gonna summon another Phantasm Warrior. Just hope that this defense is enough to keep the enemies at bay. No. Okay, so here's something else I can do. So I probably won't be able to kill these. Or am I gonna cheese them? I won't be able to cheese them. physical and shocking. What do? You do physical and or frost and spirit. I don't have either of those protections, so I think what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna run. Because like I mentioned, if I have 5 turns of no combat, then I am have successfully escaped. And maybe I can use that to my advantage. So right here I turned on the F4 menu just to see the hexes that I'm going to be able to move to. And I first moved a little bit to the right, and now I'm going to move to the left side here again. And hopefully they won't be able to get to me in time, which I don't think they will. They can move through walls, so walls don't do anything for them since they have pass wall. You can see it here, and they also are floating. So yeah, they don't care about walls at all. And right here, this should be the last turn, and after that, they shouldn't have any more movement, and then the battle is done. As you can see, too many turns since units were damaged. So yeah, we lost the battle, let's say, but it doesn't really matter. And these guys luckily didn't attack us. That's really lucky, actually. I don't think we could have run from these because they have ranged attacks. But now we're able to deal with them. Let's actually try and... Oh, okay, that's really dangerous. Okay, no, that's not what we want. Yeah, I'm gonna abort this attack, obviously, because now we not only fight these lost souls, but also the scoundrels. And yeah, I don't want that. I wanted to get rid of this enemy at the gates debuff, but yeah, it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to do that. So the reason why we fight both of them actually is quite interesting, because as you can see, if we attack this hex, then potentially this hex would be able to join this hex. So if I turn on the F4 menu again, so there's a few hexes around this center hex that would be able to participate in the battle. So if there were armies here, 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 and here, they would be able to participate. And that's what you see here, actually. So these are the hexes around the center hex that we're attacking. And that way you can actually generate a advantageous position for yourself by having these positions occupied by, you know, armies. So you can use that to your advantage as well. But yeah, right here, definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah, I don't want you guys to... I don't want to be too nice to you, so I'm just gonna kill you. Yeah, these are really bad units, so I can just attack them. Declare war, manual combat. So another one that we just take over by force, and I think this is also going to be the last combat that we're going to go into before going to bed. Let's see, now we also have Starblades, also a really good spell actually. Gonna give my guys a secret enchantment again. Definitely want to level this hatchling here. Maybe I can do it with the Jester. I'm not sure though. So the Jester is actually a really good tier 1 unit. It has Fireworks, which is actually a AoE attack, just like the Firebomb that we have seen earlier. So I don't necessarily want to stack, but it's also a good way to lure them out. So it's like, it's a trade-off. I don't think they'll come out yet, but we'll see, I guess. Oh, they do. A little bit, at least. So right here, I just want to spread them out a little bit. Don't have all of them too close. So, like that, approximately. And then, so this guy can only attack one target at a time. Yeah, that's completely fine. That is, again, completely fine. I think this will just kill unfortunately. Oh, it doesn't. That's good. Then I can kill it with my hatchling. Okay, 3 more experience. Maybe I can kill one of these with the what's it called? Good. Good. So one thing I'm gonna do here, I'm actually gonna raise this corpse. Raise corpse is a ability that the necromancer has, and you can make ghouls with this. And this ghoul is usually the target that they attack first, since it's a really weak unit. There we go. And now I have an easier time to actually kill it with the hatchling. So this is 7. What is this? 6 times 3. Perfect. I think that is absolutely perfect to kill off with my hatchling. Thank you very much. Let's see. Focus. Pray that we get something good here. No, we got a flamer. No. Oh, that's really bad. We got a flamer. That's a tier 1 unit. We just have changed a tier 1 unit for a tier 1 unit. Okay, I mean it's a bit better than the other one, than the hatchling, because it has a firebomb. But man, that is garbage. Oh, that's garbage. Okay, I'm gonna migrate to Draconians again. I really like that option since it really gives me a lot of happiness with the Draconians. That is unfortunate. I mean, it's definitely a better one than we had, but it's not much better. Yeah, it is what it is. So I'm gonna save the game here, and just gonna keep on playing next time. To Emperor Madness. Okay, game saved, and that is it for today, I'm afraid. I think I'm just gonna call it a night. Maybe I'll probably upload this to YouTube. So yeah, if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, then let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. See you later, Zambani. Have a nice evening, man.